Hey guys, this is John from DeskApp, and I had another great question from Damien uh, about scope. Oh, this is Desk Dev Docs number 3. I need to make sure that I say that at least once. Um, so Damien asked how my scope has changed over the course of building the application, and today we are actually getting very close to the 1 year mark of solid development. I started November 12th of 2013. So we're about 2 or 3 weeks out from a full year calendar's worth of development. Um, so I went back to review my original scope document, and I had estimated somewhat optimistically at the time about 490 hours of work. So if I had given myself fully to it, about 3.5 months of solid work, my hope was a delivery date of uh, March of this year. So starting in November, all November, December, January, February, with a little bit of massaging perhaps into the March timeframe of 2014. It is now October 2014 and almost into November. And so clearly things have changed since I originally built out the scope. So what happened? And what has changed, and what functionally and philosophically has pivoted over the last 6 or 7 or 8, 9 months. And I can't tell you exactly everything because uh, I really haven't done a massive retrospective on the changes. I recently decided to see if I could calculate all of the hours that I've worked over the last year, and all of the lines of code. So I'm going to see if I can, because I did that for my last project. I think that's just interesting information. But I can tell you from my original scope that I originally just planned on developing out the WordPress implementation, and it didn't have any of the what I would call app embellishments, the things that really give it a little bit of flavor, give it a little bit of uniqueness. For instance, a lot of the meta information on the actual application, like the word count, the character count, the time to read, things like that, um, weren't a part of the original scope. As I said before, WordPress was the only implementation. Now I've got WordPress, TypePad, Movable Type, Tumblr, Facebook, Squarespace, Blogger, uh, 7 other different platforms who are now integrated. And so that adds an incredible amount of complexity to the original application. Original scope did not actually have have users pulling in existing data, so I wasn't making those API calls to grab data from the actual third-party applications or services and then bring those inside the application. And I originally wasn't thinking about cloud integration. There's going to be only kind of local storage, or using the local systems device storage for data management. Um, but now we have iCloud, or now iCloud Drive integration, so you'll be able to save your data in the cloud system and have it accessed anywhere. Um, some other things, I think. I mean, I hadn't originally planned for any media integration for OEmbed implementation for like YouTube or Vimeo, and I wasn't really doing any media thoughts in terms of images. But in the final application, you can drag and drop an image file, and then scale that image right inside the actual application. So the the application as a whole has expanded wildly. Um, the question is, and perhaps a much better question than just what has changed, is why. Why have those things changed over the last year or so? And that's because my thoughts about the actual application matured. Um, I think that's a very important thing to capture and notice and then understand, is that whenever you begin to build an application, you have an idea. It is just the genesis of an idea. It's really not even an idea yet. It's just the genesis of an idea. And the moment you start laying down code, the moment you start actually building, it begins to rapidly change. At a fundamental level, the philosophy is still the same. And the reason why you begin really never changes, but it's almost like this progressive revelation, if you will. As you start building, you realize that there are better things or better functional ways to attack the problem. That you begin to realize that there's more opportunity. I think that's one of the big things is there's more opportunity for the application to have more users and people, and to bring more value to more people. Clearly, the platform play was one of those decisions. I realized that by developing and adding new platforms would increase the usage, the use cases, and the value for many, many more publishers and authors and writers and bloggers. And I thought that was a good thing. I thought that was worth my time and effort. But ultimately, I think I began to see Desk as a possible business. I think that was a big shift in my thinking. It became more than just a project or nights and weekends build or sprint or marathon, if you will. I actually began to see the potential for something much bigger than just an app. And I think that was exciting. That wasn't exactly what I was planning on doing. That wasn't the original intent, to build a new company. And most likely it won't head that way, which would be fine. But if it did, that would be really cool. So those are some of the changes. Obviously, the functional, but I think a little bit of the philosophy, but just really this massaging out, this kind of progressive revelation. The reality of what you're building begins to reveal itself, if you will, as you start actually building the product. And that's always a fun process for sure. So hopefully all you guys will be able to experience it very soon. We are still waiting on the latest binary from Apple, and I can't wait to get it in your hands. All right, guys, take it easy.